You think so? Hey everybody, we're live. I'm just gonna wait for people to get into the room, and then I'm gonna wait for our couple to get into the room. Today we're just having a conversation around marriage and relationship during quarantine. We're going to be speaking with a couple today who has recently hit their 8-year 8-year anniversary. And you know, the wife in this couple, she kind of brought to my attention that there's like so much to talk about surrounding marriage and quarantine. And so, hey Sabrina, talk about it. And we thought it would be helpful to kind of hear from a real couple who's been married for 8 years.
Real quick, everyone's saying hey to you and no one's saying hey to me.
Because a lot of people don't know you and because you don't
well, you didn't introduce me either.
Okay, calm down, hold on. So I just want everyone to know what the point is today of this live. This is Reverend Joshua.
What's up?
And you may have heard, like if you ever went on our website to look at couples counseling or what we offer, you will know that we do the premarital and marital counseling together. And oftentimes people are like, oh, that sounds good, but they never really get the opportunity to meet Reverend Joshua and to like hear from him. Only people who have that privilege are usually those who go through the program. So today I have asked him to join with me on the live. The best mentor.
See, no, I got Hey Hubby, I got Reverend Joshua. Like,
starting
to recognize me.
Who this now? So today I have him joining me to speak with this couple. We're still waiting for them to get on. And I can't wait. So be sure to think of some questions that you have for this couple. They've been married 8 years. Hey, Erica Pontine from junior high. How are you? Think of some questions that you guys might have for a couple who has been married for 8 years. We're going to do a couple, we're going to ask some questions, some probing questions so you can get more information about the couple. It's sort of kind of like what we do in premarital counseling. You have to kind of get to know people before you can even dive into, so tell me about your relationship. Well, tell me about some of the things they maybe have noticed about their own relationship. Or maybe things that they are hearing from other people. But I'm one of those people, I like to do I language, so I like to talk about you, like the person. Any other things that you think you might want to talk to today's couple about?
No, I think every journey is unique, and I think every journey has its own nuggets of information, nuggets of knowledge, their own journey that they can share. Each couple is not going to go through the same exact thing, and they're not always going to handle each situation the same. So I think sometimes in marriage we could think, oh, I'm the only one who's ever gone through this, or nobody can be struggling like this, or all those different types of things. And so I think it's just good to talk with other couples to kind of get an idea of how they're doing things, how they're going about things, how they've made it through tough times, or how they've celebrated things and things of that nature. So I'm just really looking forward to kind of getting an idea of kind of what their journey has looked like and what has brought them to that 8-year mark and what they think is going to bring them to the next 8-year mark.
8 years, yeah, for sure. And their circumstance, you know, like what is people's situations? Everyone's situation is different. Sometimes people get married within their first year. They're not only living through the first year of marriage, but they've had their first child or children if they have like twins or something like that. Or they're blending families. Everybody's facing different types of challenges. And so that's what we want to explore today. And we want to be able to explore that along with you guys. I just want to send a quick message to our interviewees. Okay, and we're back. We're just saying hi to everybody coming into the room. We are interviewing a couple. Actually, let me go ahead and pin that. Couple marriage of 8 years. Hey, there she is. Okay, so our hey, here we go. Now I can go live. We are connecting.
The anticipation.
Hey! Hey. So I'm just gonna.
Hi,
play real quick.
Joshua.
I know them.
Long time no speak.
Yeah, did you know? I had no idea who.
I had no idea who it was gonna be. I feel bad. I know them.
Really?
Tell me who. She's just like, hey, we're gonna be doing interview with the couple, and I was like, great. I never really thought to ask who or if I knew them.
Yeah, so I kind of made it a mystery couple, like so people.
Nice,
One. Happy Mother's Day.
Yes.
Thank you.
Happy Mother's Day.
Happy Mother's Day to you too.
Thank you. So before we get started, introduce yourself, guys.
Okay, so my name is Linda Georges, mother of two.
I'm Pierre-Michel Monpomier, father of two.
We've been married for 8 years. We've been together for what, 9? Is it 9?
Yes, about
We don't
that.
know. We just stopped
That's
counting.
really good. I like those
been a long time.
numbers. Not that not liking it means anything, but that's really great. So how have you guys been just handling the whole pandemic? Like, what are some like new things, like new normals for you guys?
I mean, being in the house all the time it's difficult with 2 kids. And it's weird, right? Because so even though I'm a nurse, I work in administration. And so I actually always worked from home since about 2017. And then my husband works from home. And so we decided to just homeschool the kids like they're babies at this point. But having to always stay in the house and not go out to Target,
Or plan vacation.
and our anniversary was a couple of weeks ago. So having to date night, it's like, what's date night now? It's just, we're on the couch all day.
And the kids
So
are
I
still
think
there.
that, so we're lucky. So we moved last year. We decided to try to save some money and live with my family. And so we're very lucky that we live with grandma and 2 aunties
Oh,
because
That helps,
that helps a lot.
especially with the kids.
yeah.
Right?
Oh my goodness, I can only imagine.
For real.
Mhm.
But yeah, we've been surviving. We're glad that we have a backyard. We're glad that we have each other. I feel like being married and going through this as a couple, it's like a forced, it's almost like a forced honeymoon / retreat / survivor game because
Right? It's all of those things all at once.
All together.
How do I feel like 1 minute it's like, I love you more than anything. I'm so glad I'm in this with you. And then the next one, you're like, how do I vote you off? all encompassing. And then it's just like this incredible thing. And you're like, when's the next challenge so I can figure out how I can, there's just one thing after another. Then you're like on this retreat where you're like, we get all this quality time together and we're learning things about each other again and we're doing all this. And it's like, but I'm learning that you do this. And it's just like all of these things. So you're exactly right. It's all of those things just bottled up into one for sure.
Mhm.
Yeah, I feel like before this, my life is like really busy. And one of the things that Joshua used to always say to me is like, I just feel like you're not home that much. It's like, wait till you get out of quarantine.
I've changed my mind.
Wait till you get out of quarantine. I feel like I will take that for the next 10 years. Like, this is all that quality.
Yo,
time.
it's like all the quality time, every new year, we're gonna spend more time with each other as a family. Now it's like, it's been like 9 weeks.
Yo.
We did it. I'm ready. We like each other. We proved it. We passed it. Let's move on. Can I get on a plane? You're not going on a
Challenge
trip.
completed.
Y'all was like, I heard all y'all's New Year's resolutions and y'all been struggling to live up to them. Cause guess what? Now I'm gonna make it happen. Now y'all gonna live up to that. We're gonna spend quality time and we're gonna learn to listen to each other better and love each other better. And we're gonna spend that quality time. And it's like, God, I'm just waiting for God to be like, all right, not only do you have the quarantine, now I'm gonna take the power. I'm gonna take the internet, and you're gonna be stuck in the dark with each other.
There you go. Extreme.
Please, no.
Yeah,
I need all these things to stay alive.
I do too.
Yeah. So Josh and I have been married for 8 years. You guys have been married for 8 years.
Nice.
What type of, so we're kind of like in the same class, you know, graduating class of married people. But, you know, I always find it unique when people are going through their first year of marriage. Like for me, I constantly am thinking about people's first year of marriage. And for some people, this whole quarantine, coronavirus, all the tragedy that's going on right now, and the goodness that's kind of coming out of it as well, is happening in somebody's first year of marriage right now, right?
Yep.
So I would say, or I would ask of you guys, what type of like advice, you know, would you give, or what kind of insight do you have about like first year and also living through this pandemic? Like, you know, it's a unique time where it's a weird circumstance, right? And it's happening in the middle of somebody's first year of marriage. You know, I had a couple that I married on, the last couple I married was on March 15th. Their first year of marriage began with the pandemic.
Their first month of marriage.
Their first week. Their first week.
Wow.
On a honeymoon. Bam.
Yeah, no, like, you know, so I try to think about all those different people in different situations, and try to think about the types of, you know, even as a content creator, like I have all these ideas, like for my new YouTube channel and like a playlist about relationship, and I'm like all over the place because I'm like, I can talk about this, I can talk about that, and it's like, but then you have to talk about something that's also unique to like what's actually going on right now, right?
Yeah.
So I want to hear from you guys in terms of, like, I guess critically thinking through, what would you say? What words of wisdom would you have to someone in their first year right now?
I mean, if it's your first year, believe it or not, enjoy it.
Yes.
Right? Because I mean, like if you're a traditional couple, you don't have children, it's just the two of you. And even though, like, you know, like you probably like dated, you were engaged, you went through the whole wedding journey, you got married, like your first year of marriage, that's something that's completely new.
Yeah.
And so one thing that I'm glad that like we had a chance to like do was to really like enjoy it, right? So even if you can't go away on a honeymoon, this is technically, like I said, it's a honeymoon, right? Like you don't have much interruptions going on in your life right now. And so, yeah, it sucks you're not on the beach, you're not in a hotel, but really take this time to like set that foundation for your relationship. And so if spending quality time with each other is important, spend that quality time with each other. Like, how does that look like? Is that making breakfast in the mornings? Is that trying to have one meal at the dining room table? Is it trying to find like, well, what's our show, you know, because like Netflix and everyone else, you know, like, you know, so like try to find like what you need to do right now to set that foundation, because that's what's going to get you through year 2, year 3, and all the many years to follow.
Also, I'm going to add, she said, if you don't have kids yet, and try to enjoy that first year with no kids, just the two of you, you know?
No Rona babies.
Yes.
Hey, I'm
So,
telling you,
you get,
Rona boom, just like after World War II. And
oh yes, big time.
We're going to see it.
Exactly. Yep, the Rona babies. So enjoy, try to enjoy the time with our kids, just the two of you at first, because once kids get into the picture, it really puts stress on the relationship in different ways. So if you had that foundation, the two of you before, then you have more chance to survive after when the kids come, you know, come along. So I guess that'll be the best thing to do. And, you know, be friends, you know, listen to each other, like literally give space if space is needed, but just be friends. Yeah, she goes into the pantry.
That's where all the snacks are.
Yeah, I agree with that advice. You know, it's a very difficult, like, I think, era and time to be able to give advice, because we live in a time where like everybody just does what they want to do, and there's no real standard or rule, so people get really afraid when they're
we're just figuring it out.
People get afraid when they hear advice, but like no one has really, many couples have never asked me directly, like, do you think we should have kids in the first year? But if they ever did, I always say, like, regardless of even if you dated for 10 years or engaged for 2 years, like, there's something about being in legal marriage and having children that's just, you can't predict it, right? You just can't predict it.
Something changes.
And there's no real, I mean, some people might say there's a rush if they might feel like age is not on their side, but I just feel like that foundation, like you said, that you lay in that first year, and for some couples it takes 2 years or 3 years to lay a real foundation. You know, not everybody can lay one in a year. I know we would like to believe that we could put a time on it, but everybody can't lay a foundation sometimes in a year.
And I think a big part of that foundation is intimacy, right? It's hard if you bring a child into that first year, you're not going to be able to build that same level of intimacy with your spouse because you have to give some of that to your child. You have to build that intimacy with that child as well, which takes away from that ability to build that one-on-one intimacy with your spouse. And so I think you're absolutely right. When you talk about this foundation, it's not just the foundation of learning how to compromise and learning how to negotiate and learning how to appreciate each other, but it's that level of intimacy that you gain by just doing life together, just the two of you, having those moments. Because when the baby comes, there is no moments of silence where you can just enjoy one another's company.
No.
It's the crying, and then when the crying over, it's the nonstop talking, right? So
Lack of sleep.
He said non-stop talking.
It's true.
That's constant.
And another thing you guys mentioned was date nights. Can you tell me a little bit about what your date nights would look like during this time? Like, you know, everybody knows the typical date nights. You get a babysitter and you go out wherever, you know, makes you happy. But like, how can people be creative during this time in terms of date nights and spending quality time together?
Okay, so let me tell you what I did for our 8-year wedding anniversary. So typically we would like to, you know, like travel, especially since like last year I was pregnant, the year before that just had a baby. You know, it was just like the past few years has always been.
France, though, when you had the baby.
And I was pregnant on that trip.
I didn't do the math, but
I did the math. Caleb did the math.
Yes, I was about 6-7 weeks pregnant on that trip. So that's why you guys wanted to go to London. I'm just like, we not doing that.
Wow. That's crazy. We were doing a lot of walking around.
A lot of walking, the carrying that stroller, protests going on. Yeah, you know, it's just.
It all makes a little more sense now. All right.
Wow.
Yes,
Anyway,
you know, so. But for our anniversary, like, you know, like me personally, I was really upset knowing that we couldn't go away. I'm just like, yo, like, really, God? Like, really? You gotta take away my beach vacation when like things are finally settled down.
Take away my beach
And so being like a wedding planner, I was like, okay, like, you know, how can I spin this and still make it fun? And so I called up a friend of mine's and she bakes cakes. And she also got the hookup with flowers because they know flowers. Like, you go to Whole Foods around here and they're just like, we only selling essentials. I guess flowers are not essential to make my house look pretty. So she managed to get me like 75 roses. She got me candles. She baked me a cake. I called up a restaurant that's close by and I was like, okay, like, I'm not feeling this Rona menu. I need this other stuff. Like, can you make it? And they're like, yeah, like, we got everything in the back. Like, we got you. And so I ordered everything. I made sure that, you know, we cleared the house up. My sister was going to come home from like her job at like 5. And so I was like, okay, you watching the kids until like 8, like, you know, because 8 o'clock, like we put in the sleep. So I was like, okay, watch the kids. And so I just decorated the house, you know, cleared the dining room table. And he had no idea, which, you know, I was really proud of because he's the romantic one. I don't, believe it or not, I'm not the romantic one. I'm the nice one, right? It's like, I'm the nice one, but like the romance and stuff, I'm just like, I don't have time for it. It's weird, right? I don't, like, I do it for other people. And for me, I just get lazy. But I was really proud of the fact that we were still able to create that like restaurant space in our house, you know, had the nice candles and Afrobeat music, you know, like, so it was like
we were all dressed up real nice.
Got dressed up, put on my makeup and everything, put my heels on. But surprisingly, what I liked the most was the fact that, like, you know, 8 o'clock, you know, like, I text my sister and I was like, okay, you could bring the kids down, and being able to, like, you know, cut that, you know, cake with my kids made me realize like how far we've come, right? Like, from being just the two of us to now we have a family, and like to be able to share our anniversary with our family. So that was our anniversary night. And I hope going forward, because I don't know how long this thing's gonna last for, that we're still able to like, find that time to create that space. And so when we're done with this interview, we plan on taking a trip to Turks and Caicos.
Virtual trip.
There's plenty of YouTube videos of people on vacation, so might as well watch them, learn if but it's just,
all those old photos.
but it's just, making the most out of what we have, right? And
last week we were in Seychelles.
Yeah, we went to Seychelles last week. We just traveling on.
I'm about to go to Home Depot and get all that sand and like put it in my backyard. Grab some.
I like that.
Put my feet in the pool and be like.
I like that.
Yeah, so that's how date night looks for us in quarantine. And so like there's plenty of ideas on like Pinterest, but really like use what you have. Like, it's 2020, right? Not 1920. And so there are restaurants that are open. There are people sitting at home who can gladly help you, like put together a bouquet and stuff. You can get a ton of stuff off of Etsy. Amazon's still working. And so, like make it nice, like decorate the place, get balloons if that's your thing, flowers, pretty plates, cups, wine. Wine helps. Wine makes everything a lot better.
Wine, lots of wine.
Wine makes everything better. But like seriously, like get creative. And I kind of feel like being married, it's forcing us to go back to like those early days when like you're trying to impress your significant other, like, ooh, like, like let me let me see what I can do for like him. And so like just, like just do that. Just do that. Start with that.
Be girlfriend and boyfriend again.
Yes. Boyfriend, girlfriend.
Yeah, like I think that is a very good point. And I think that, a lot of times people, as soon as they cross over into marriage, they kind of get bogged down by all the adult expectations of life, and so that's some places where like romance disappears. Is like bills and jobs and careers and building a future, whatever that entails. And all those things are not like romantic. You know what I mean? Like they're important, but they're not romantic.
Yeah.
So it's
exactly.
Me bringing in a paycheck ain't romantic?
I don't think it's
I'm like,
romantic.
okay, so who are you talking about? To you, that's our woo.
Yeah, but not like, listen, I brought the paycheck. What am I
Trust me,
getting
if
back?
I brought home a paycheck with a couple extra zeros on the end of it, she would be like, what's the best thing you've given me in a decade?
It's very romantic.
I'll just put X amount of dollars in the savings account. She'd be like, I'll meet you in a room in 15 minutes. Like,
I don't know. Anyways, great point. I mean, the date night thing is really good. I mean, I think Josh and I really appreciate, and we love Hunter, of course, but she is I can't, people talk, you have 2 kids now, and I'm like, would you imagine 2 Hunters? Like,
I couldn't do it.
I
Right
don't know. She's alive.
I'm gonna be honest, I couldn't do 2 Hunters right now.
That's
I mean, and she's adorable. Like she will make like an amazing big sister.
Yes.
She'll make an amazing big, like she'll help.
We need to definitely give her something to do to tire her out. Like,
yes. Someone
I agree.
to occupy her time, to give direction to.
Got it.
Do that instead of
Makes sense.
her trying to give us direction.
I know. And so we do appreciate our time, like when we put her to bed. I think we're just kind of
Yes.
like just
Same here.
our time.
Yeah.
And literally all we really get to do is watch our show. Like going back to the simple thing you were talking about. We got our shows. We know what they are. It took some time to figure out what they are, but we figured it out. And we watch our shows and we have our adult moment. And
which right now is Breaking Amish.
yeah, Breaking Amish is our favorite. We're so
Nice.
And you would think I would be the one who was majorly into that?
Yeah,
I see all of her daily updates. Her daily updates as if this thing is still playing live on TV. I'm like, they were showing that last night. She's like, girl, let me tell you.
No,
I don't understand.
He has saved our marriage.
Yeah, we love Slick. I just like people like rebelling against whatever religious organization they're a part of. I don't know. There's some kind of justice I feel watching that. You know what I mean? Even if they have the whole prodigal son thing going on where they go to the extreme ends and you're like, okay, reel it back in, be balanced. But I love it. I love the drama of it all. I can't lie. So We got
Nice.
our joy. We have our show, and that's really what's been our like main thing thus far. I
Mhm.
think
And I'm not gonna lie, I have gotten in touch with my inner baker.
he has.
So like I made like
Nice.
carrot cake, pound
So you're the one buying up all the flour,
I
because
know, right?
my mom is currently upstairs.
Is there no flour?
Like my mom is currently upstairs, like baking up a storm. I'm like, why is everyone baking?
Everybody's
What's
baking.
going on?
Everybody's baking.
So do you guys bake together? Like have you found like a new hobby to do?
No.
No baking. I see all these articles because I told you content creation. I'm looking into these articles. Cooking with your spouse is like therapeutic. I'm like, say who? Like cooking for me.
It's stressful for her
Yeah,
because
so-
how she operates is like, oh, I use this measuring cup. Now I gotta wash it. Okay, put it back. Okay, now I'll move on to the next thing. Oh, I gotta wash that. Put that back. Like she can't just go through. Like I'll wait until the end. I'll have a mess everywhere, but then I'll clean it up when it's all over. For her, it's like as she goes, she has to clean piece by piece. So
See, so I'm like Roxy, right? As I'm cooking, I'm cleaning because I don't want to have to be thinking about like the mess in the kitchen. Whereas my husband, he don't believe in that
I don't.
at all.
I
He
just
just so, but his saving grace is that he loves to cook, and he's an amazing cook. Like he'll watch like the food shows on TV and actually replicate the whole meal. And I'm like,
I love food.
who does that? Like we're watching
I'm
it
with
for
you on
fun.
that too.
Like I'm watching it for fun, and he's taking notes. Like really.
Oh my
Mhm.
I'll be
But then I
watching
go into the
YouTube videos
kitchen.
on it.
Me too.
Dude's on Pinterest. He has all like his whole
My Pinterest is all food.
Pandemic. But that's where
Exactly.
But the cleaning.
Korean barbecue pork chops. That's where I got the recipe off of.
Ooh.
Was Pinterest. Oh, they were good.
Korean
They
barbecue
were
pork
good.
chop. I'm gonna look it up.
Korean barbecue pork chops. It is really, really good.
Yeah,
It's really
I don't
good.
know.
Gonna
Maybe
try
because
that.
food is not like my comfort thing per se. I like good food, but I'm like a really picky eater. I have issues. Like when it comes to just food in general, it's like cooking to me is chemistry. So I mean, I don't know about you, but in school,
It is
chemistry
for her.
was not fun to me.
See, like, like when you're cooking, like, they give you like the exact amounts and stuff. You're like, as long as I get it close when you're cooking, you're like, I'm good. I'll probably put a
Yes.
little bit extras. No, she's got to like measure it out exactly level, exactly the instructions there. So for her, it's so stressful. For me, I'm just like, like
So for her, it's science. For you, it's art.
exactly.
Yeah.
So that's why everything has to be
Gotcha.
clean. Like it's a petri dish. I can't mix this with this, or else I get an explosion. For me, it's like if I mix this with this, it's art. It's like it's all gonna come together in this masterpiece.
Exactly. And you cook with feelings like, okay,
Yes,
this should work
exactly.
good together. Yes.
You see, like,
So-
speaks my
so
language.
clearly-
Yes.
Yes.
So clearly, like for all the ladies listening out there, your man needs to cook. Just let him cook. Let him be in the
It seems like a
kitchen.
Facebook group to put them in so they can discuss these things.
I know, right?
Yeah. So we got cooking, we got date night. We apparently can go on vacations on YouTube. Apparently, we can look.
Yes.
So what is it that people went on vacations and documented so much that you?
Yeah, so it's pretty much like,
Like a vlog.
Yeah, it's like a vlog. So like people who like go on vacation and like they talk about, how it is on the islands, how it was getting there, fun things to like do. And so like Pierre and I have very big imaginations, and so it's not hard for us to like immerse ourselves into it, especially if it's a really good video.
Yeah.
Like you're doing stuff like, oh wow, we going scuba diving, we going to this place, oh we at the clubs. We
Yep.
haven't done that. What does that look like? We don't.
I know, right?
I mean, like we have Club Montpremier every night, but I don't know.
We have our own dance parties. YouTube, music, lights, the kids, dancing, everything.
That's amazing. That's super amazing. And to be honest, I could probably learn a thing or two about like vlogging, just listening to like how you guys, you don't realize how much you don't document, right? You realize like quickly, like, oh, I don't really document that detailed like stuff that people really, they get that camera going and they really are like,
They go in details. Yep.
coming with me. So that's exciting.
Yes.
We discovered that. Like, I hope everybody on this live that is truly looking for ways to be a little innovative and creative and kind of get outside of your rut are really listening and taking notes. And I'm going to try to like also share this on the replay. But like, these are great ideas. Like, these are fantastic ideas. And you guys seem really
Glad
excited.
you enjoyed.
which is more important. And listen, you guys are doing this after 8 years. And to be honest, I
Yes.
feel like the more you grow older with each other, it's kind of a little bit more of the challenge it is to kind of go back to those fundamentals of like, we're going to have fun together. We actually
Yeah.
love each other. We're not just parents to these kids, you know?
Exactly.
We're more than that.
Like I see in my mind, we're boyfriend, girlfriend. We're still dating.
like we're still dating. And so I feel like that keeps it exciting,
Mhm.
you know, and like pretty much, and like honestly, like for me personally, it's learning not to take for granted what we have, right? And so it, like, especially now, right? Like, you know, like I work in healthcare. A lot of our friends and family members work in healthcare. And so we appreciate all of the little things, right? And so me being able to like be at home and, you know, like have a sit down meal with my family, I appreciate that on a whole nother level now, right? Especially when I actually do go into work and it's like, wow, right? Like Corona's real. Like it's not just like everyone's being at home. Like some people are like really sick and they're being like affected by this. And so just learning to like appreciate each other. And I kind of feel like for us, like, you know, having that conversation on like a regular basis, whether it's like weekly or like monthly, and just being like, hey, how are you doing? Like, not forget about the kids and business and bills, but how are you doing? Like what's going on in your life? Because surprisingly, like I kind of feel like sometimes like you kind of feel like, oh, I see you every day, I know what you're up to. And you really don't. It's like, oh, I didn't know you were reading, you know, like this book, or like you were thinking of doing this project and stuff. So just having that like relationship, you know, like we are friends first. And so like I get to spend all day with my best friend, and like I guess me being in quarantine, like that's the fun thing, right? Like I get to be locked down with my BFF, and we're winning apparently, you know, like we've been high-fiving, we've been we are still here. We are still here. So I'm just like, yo, like, you know, I really like this dude, like as a person, like
Well, yeah, and I think that's a big part of it too, is just kind of allowing yourself to re-fall in love, right? And allowing yourself to begin to kind of start, I want to say start over, but start anew the growth, right? To kind of getting back to that place where we're remembering like there's still so much to learn about each other, right? Because we're multi-dimensional people. So as we go through different stages in life, we learn new things, we begin to like new things, experience new things, not just as couples, but as individuals. And so this is a great time for us to just reconnect and say, hey, so kind of get into a place to where we're kind of learning again and asking the questions that we did on when we were just dating, you know?
Yeah.
Or for us when we dated the one day. But,
we didn't.
So, so I think it is taking you back to that place of just like, I really just want to get to know you again, as if I didn't fully know who you are. Because like you said, during this period, it's like, do I really know what's going through your head on a daily basis? Do I really know, you know, what you're doing to deal with the stress? Do I really know, you know, some of these things, are they the same? I do believe what we're going to find during the pandemic is there are certain things that we're going to learn about each other that maybe we didn't necessarily know or fully understand before, you know, because it's going to bring out sides of us, you know, it's really going to show kind of each other what it means to survive a pandemic together.
Yeah, definitely.
Excellent test, to be honest. I tell all my couples, or I've said about my couples, that the ones who are engaged to be married whenever this is over, or whenever, I say I will stand a little taller and be a little bit more proud to marry these people if they get through this, you know, because I don't think it's going to be.
I agree, man. Because this is better than any retreat that anyone could have thought of. Like,
the retreat is already in action.
None of those married people got nothing on the pandemic.
Nothing.
Let me tell you.
And it's great.
Like my thought process is, what about those couples who are already in long distance relationships? And we're depending on seeing each other every month, every couple times a month.
Yeah,
we
talk about
each other in 9 weeks.
Yeah, that's how we started, long distance.
9 weeks without seeing you. Like I would.
Yeah, but we've done it.
I'm like,
so we were a long distance international couple.
Oh, really?
That's how we started.
Okay, so my next question was going tell everybody how you met and all that. So can you tell us? We have all
This is like how much time you got? How much time?
That's how we got at least before, and then it cuts us off. So tell us.
So pretty much we met several times, right? And so the initial time was back in 2006. We were at a like a family member's wedding or whatever in Georgia. And so I saw him. He doesn't remember seeing me, even though there are clearly group pictures of us together. But so we're both Haitian, but he's also French Canadian, right? And so when Haitian people meet each other, it's usually like a hug and a kiss, right? But French Canadians do a hug and a double kiss. And so when I saw him, I was like, ooh, he cute. And so everyone's in line, you know, saying hi, introducing. And so I got in line twice because I wanted to get kissed by him. But again, he doesn't recall that. And so, you know, and so that was in December. And so actually that following May, I was back in Georgia and he happened to show up to pick up his grandmother. And this is when I kind of feel like God was trying to tell both of us, like, you are meant to be with each other, because this man was literally supposed to be in Georgia for like not even 12 hours.
That is true. I was supposed to pick up my grandma and fly back to Canada.
Oh.
We go to the airport the first time. I don't know what happened. They didn't get on the flight. Got to pick them up. So now we have more time.
Went back home.
And so the second time, same thing happened. And mind you, like all of the time in between, we're just hanging out, you know? So, you know, we went to Olive Garden, we're going to the mall, we're really getting to know each other. Like we spent the whole night, like talking. Like he likes to joke and say, no, you were talking. I was just listening. But it's like, you know, and like I'm sharing like my poems that I used to write. Like this was so tacky. I don't know what was going on, but we ended up.
Here's he was my crush in 6th grade. He was the nose. This is where I fell off my bike and hurt my knee.
I'm like,
But no, seriously, like we talked the whole night. We went to you know, we saw the sunrise. Like it was just beautiful. And so when he finally like, and I guess like, you know, this was like the third or fourth time we went to the airport, and we kind of both knew. And so we kind of both knew like, okay, this, like you have to, there's no way like the universe is gonna like, you know, extend this even further. And so he actually kissed me before he got yes, and his grandma saw, and I was just, I was not, it was like in the movies, like when the guy walks away and then he stops and then he comes back, and I was like, wow, like, okay, like, I don't know what just happened. Like, maybe, I don't know. But we stayed in touch because, you know, back then I was younger. And so I was trying to live my life, was not trying to be tied down to nobody. And then plus he was in Canada. Like, come on now. Like, I'm not beat for trying to be no long distance relationship. Like, come on now. But we stayed in touch. Like my friends used to joke about, you know, like, oh, Linda has a Canadian boyfriend, and you know, but we just stayed in touch. And so because I looked at him as my friend, we got to know each other as friends, right? So like there was no like, you know, secrets or like I'm trying to hide like my past. Like he shared everything. Like he just knew how crazy I was. And so fast forward to 2010. Right. He was telling me that like, oh, he doesn't do much for the holidays. I'm just like, dude, it is Christmas. Like, I love Christmas. Like, I count down to Christmas. As soon as December 26th comes, I'm already counting down to that. Like, that's normal. And so, like, so he came down, and it was, and like, mind you, we hadn't seen each other since like 2007, right? And so we saw each other, and we literally picked up right where we left off. And so I took him to church twice, took the man to church twice in one day.
Wow, that's
twice in one day. Right? And it's just, and like again, so like I remember going to like St. Patrick's Cathedral, and I'm like we're in the chapel, and I'm really asking God, like, yo, I'm feeling things. I don't know what it is, but like I'm gonna follow your lead, right? And so again, we had a wonderful time. And like, you know, he pretty much was like, yo, like, we need to be a couple. And again, I'm still fronting like, no, you in Canada. And then so I was like, let's date. And so he got confused, like, what is dating? What I was like, we could date, and he's like, I don't know, we're boyfriends.
I'm like, it's either you with me or we're not together.
Yeah,
You know,
exactly.
what's the thing in
dating
between?
thing? Either we're
Exactly.
together or we're not
He
together.
was
We
like-
had all these extra different technical terms.
No, I wanted to go through the phases. I wanted us to like date, get to know each other. He's like, get to know each other. I know you. Like, what are you talking about? And so April 29th, 2011, the day of the royal wedding of Kate, I'll never forget it. Like the day of the royal wedding, like this man asked me to be his girlfriend. It was so proper. Like for a split second, I was like, is he proposing? Because he had a box. It was like a necklace. He had a box. And I'm just like, is he proposing? Because we don't do things like this in America. Like, I just met you. You want to get married? But he properly asked me like, yo, like, I like you, you like me, like none of this dating, like,
Just do it.
like, let's be boyfriend and girlfriend, right?
I get it.
I'm like, okay. But then somehow between April 29th, 2011 and April 29th, 2012, he somehow convinced me to marry him. And we went through pre-marital counseling, like all of that, right? Because I'm just like, there's just no way. Who gets married on their 1 year anniversary? We did. Like you guys take a date at like what 3 weeks? Like I don't.
Wow. Yes.
But that's pretty much.
Oh wow.
But no,
Amazing.
I get this. The idea of like the proper asking them to be your girlfriend, like, because I remember how shocked she was when I asked her, and I didn't say, "Do you want to be my girlfriend?" I legit asked her, like, "Do you want to go steady? Like, do you like 1950s style?
Yes.
Like, do you want to go steady?" She
Yes.
looked at me like, "What are you doing right now?" And I'm like, "I don't know what you're."
You said the word steady?
Yes. That's
Who says that?
You see, people like us, we say that.
She's like, "Well,
Is it a bald head guy thing? I don't know.
Yeah, but she's like, in New York City, we just talk, and eventually it's like we're just.
Thank
together.
you. Thank
And I'm like,
you.
"All
See,
right,
I
well,
can't.
My mom and my daddy didn't raise me like that. All right.
Same here.
If we're together, I'm
Same
gonna
here.
let you know, and I'm gonna ask.
Yes.
It's important that we're on the same page here.
No confusions, no ambiguity, nothing like that.
Right? Like he was like, because he made it very clear from day one. He's like, this is gonna end in marriage, because that's the whole point of like dating and being boyfriend and girlfriend. I'm thinking in my head, in America, nah, like we test it out and then we break up. I was like, we test it out, we find out how crazy we can't, and then we break up. But for me, like, I guess like my fear was the fact that, he was my first boyfriend. Okay. Because again, I was going to live my life. I was going to be Miss Independent. I don't need no man, yada, yada, yada. Like that was me. And so it was kind of funny when like I was telling my friends that like we eloped, right? Like, and we eloped, right? Like I am very close to my mom, my sisters, like my girlfriends. And so for me to go off to Canada and then come back and it's like, yeah,
Yeah.
Wow.
we eloped and like.
Yeah, that's eloping pretty much. I mean, so your parents, so your mom and your sisters were not with you?
Nobody knew.
Wow. But
See,
did
my
they
mom
know?
and sisters didn't know until after I was married.
Yeah, did they know you were going to go get married or no?
So my
Not on my
sisters,
end.
so like my sisters like heard us talking and they know how determined this man is. So like they were like, no, like if he says you're getting married, Linda, you getting married. And so like literally, like I think I ordered like my like wedding dress that same month. Like it was like April 1st, but I'm sitting at work and I'm just like, damn, like I need a dress, right? Because if I'm getting married, I gotta look cute, gotta do all this stuff. But yeah, we pulled it off. We got married, and like 2.5 years later, like we still had to have the big church wedding because, of course, we're Haitian. But I'm so glad, like looking back, I'm so glad that he made it very clear what the plan was. Because if it was up to me, we'd probably still be dating like that.
Unnecessarily.
See, I kind of didn't. I think it was a week after we went on our first date.
Yeah.
Or I asked her to be. I think it was a week after our first date. I asked her if she wanted to go steady, and then the week after that, I said, "Do you just want to get married?"
Oh wow.
I think it's so important.
You were sure.
Yeah, I think that all of those things are remnants of showing leadership, right? And we may not see it like that in the moment, especially because when we think of leadership, we think of possibly someone who needs to be led, as in like a weaker person. But leadership is someone who sets the plan, right? Like just like a wedding planner.
Yeah.
A wedding planner is a leader of some kind, right? They're not maybe spending the money or setting the budget, but they're saying, here's the recommendations, here's what I see for the future, like let's have a conversation. And I think that it's so important. We're so used to, I think, a society that has reared us to believe that no one, like, it's dangerous to kind of set plans even so early in a relationship, that
I
when
agree.
people do
Yeah.
it, we think of them as maybe being crazy or doing something the most, right? But in truth,
I mean, and it's weird that you say that, because I think what really struck it for me was when he said, like, this is, like, this is normal, right? Like, you meet someone, you date or whatever, you get to know them, you fall in love, you get married. And I think for me, looking at like the people that I grew up around and like what I saw on TV and everything, it doesn't lead to that, right? It leads to you breaking up. And then you spend a year or two saying, oh my God, then you move on. And so like hearing that, oh, this is going to lead to us, getting married, I was like, oh, that's like, why like, why
Plan.
why
Right? Well, that's the one thing about her. Like, for me, I think the big thing was I had gotten out of, you won't be able to plug it in.
go ahead, keep
This is what
talking.
the charger is at. But so for me, it was this idea of I had gotten out of a long-term relationship before I had met her, right? And so I kind of had left that, and I was like, the next relationship I'm getting into, it's marriage or nothing. Like, I'm not gonna play. I'm not gonna do this, oh, let's see where this thing can go. The next time I tell a girl I want to be with her, it's gonna be all or nothing. So
Got it. Same, yep. Same
yeah.
here.
So when I met her, and a little bit of history too is that I had never dated a black woman, had never really even went down that road or even thought about that as a real option. And so when I met her, I was like, she's kind of cute and
Kind of cute. Okay.
you weren't all gold.
I hope you have a comfortable couch.
Basic training.
Sure, I mean, yeah, the Army uniforms aren't made to like show your figure. Like, it isn't made to make you look pretty, right? So, but I was like, she's cute. We talked. It's like she's really intelligent. She has a beautiful smile. It's like all of these things. It was like, and that's what I always tell everyone. Like, if I could find her to be this beautiful person, even in a military uniform, then for me that was like I just know she's going to be even more beautiful and more gorgeous.
Yeah.
And take her out of that context of the military, that she was just going to be this incredible human being, which of course she turned out to be. But for me, it was like I found her. I'm not going to let this one go. I'm not going to play stupid and be like, oh yeah, you go to New York, I'll go back to Colorado, and if it works out, it works out. It's like, no, stupid. Like, I'm not going to do this. Like, if I'm not leaving here unless you're my wife. That's just as simple as it's going to be.
Amazing.
Right?
That's good.
So like, do you think like age has something to do with that? Because a lot of people look at like, like our relationship and like how we started, and they're just like, oh, like they don't make guys like that. And I'm like, but really? Because I found one. And so
I'm 34 years old.
So
like,
Josh is 1 year younger than me, and when we got married, we were whatever 8 years.
27.
27. And so we were in our 20s, which in our time period, being in your 20s doesn't deem you as automatically smart or wise. So, credit to that. I think sometimes your relationship history also can play into that, right? I think that sometimes when you have sometimes dated the wrong people, if you get an opportunity to have a like aha moment of like, I'm mature enough now to decipher what it is that I want in life and what I'm not willing to accept at all. I think if you can have that moment for yourself, then you become a better candidate in the dating world, right? And I know, at least before I met Joshua, I was coming out of.
She never calls me by my first
Joshua.
name.
I was coming out
My
of.
full name.
I was coming out of 3 years of singleness that I feel like I had spent really well. Like, I had traveled, I had indulged in studying and doing things that just made me happy and made me understand myself better. So by the time I met him, I was able to extract from his like character, personality, all the things that I was like, oh my goodness, these are good qualities in a person that I have not been able to find in someone, and I'm finding it. So what are you gonna do?
Nice.
You know, it's not easy to come by. You're right. Your friends kind of made sense. It's not easy to come by some of these qualities.
We're a rare breed.
You know, so when you find it, it's like the whole like moment of like, you know, why finding someone to marry isn't just I'm gonna walk outside of my door and whoever walks by, that's it.
Hey,
you know,
you.
it's right. I mean, yeah. So I mean, I think
I wonder if some people think that it was just like, next person
People
I see.
do.
Some people are trying. Some people are trying that. You know, it's just, hey, you in the mask.
Yeah, I mean, people made fun of us and made comments like that. I mean, I don't think they like meant it, but like to them it just didn't make sense, and it's just not normal. Like even you getting married in a year after, I mean, that's in our time, that's short.
Yeah.
You know.
And I mean, even I
Yeah.
remember my sister when we got to Colorado. First of all, I think she was expecting to see her pregnant, but you know, she
People were always looking for a reason to rationalize
why it happened so
anybody
fast.
would want to get married.
Got it.
But my sister looked at me. She goes, "Why couldn't you just live in sin like everybody else?" Like that was
Wow.
the question, and I just realized how warped our sense of being able to find that person had become. That it is better to live with someone for a long period of time that may or may not work out than it is to risk it on someone that you feel God has really placed in your path for a purpose and a reason, right? And so
Yeah.
for me, I think I can speak for myself, and I think for Rox as well, is that for us, it was really just trusting in God. I had really prayed for God for this specific woman, and I tell her this all the time, I don't think that I would have chosen her, if that makes sense. Like, I don't know that if God said, here, write your list of things,
Yeah.
that this is who it would be. But that is why God is the author, right? That's why we leave the right to him, right? And so for me, that was
Because he knows what's best.
Exactly.
Yes, you know, because when I look at my list of, like, I swear every girl has made that list of these are what I want in a guy, and it's like Pierre, like no, every single one, no. Like,
yeah, I was like, babe, if you're listening,
it's like no.
You got short, skinny, and so I don't know what you're going for.
Like every single one was like, no, you got good teeth. You got good teeth. You got that one. You got that one. But it's just every single one. And so, no, I'm serious. But it kind of shows you, like, you know, and like, I'm not trying to downplay like my younger self, but I didn't know what was good for me.
Yeah.
Right. Like I thought I did, but it's like, I didn't know what was good for me, because looking at my life now, especially like, you know, especially having kids, right? And I think that's the factor. It's hard to factor in what do you want for your children, right? Because I was never a parent. He was never a parent. And so raising our kids and seeing how he is with our kids, and then going through pregnancy, right? Like let's take it back, going through pregnancy. And for me, realizing maybe a little too late, like, oh snap, I could die. Right?
Yeah.
This hurts. This is not comfortable, but I can die. But looking at him and knowing that, you know, like we're doing this together, and realizing that, wow, like, I don't think like all these other people I was thinking of, they were not worth that, you know? And so when I look at my children and like, you know, and I see that they're a true reflection of us. And, you know, yeah, I never factored that in. So God did. And God was like, no, this is the one. And I'm just like, really though?
Right.
Really? He in Canada, how this gonna work, right? And so,
And
yeah,
it worked.
Yeah.
You know,
It worked.
it's still working.
Yeah.
Well, and that's the one thing we would talk about, is that, you know, the fact that I was from a small town in Colorado, right?
Yeah, like I've never been to Colorado.
Never been there.
first of all.
But when she, you know, in one of those dating sites, and we both were on dating sites prior to we met each other, but men from Colorado kept popping up on her.
And my thing, I was like, my thing broken. Like, it was matching.
I was telling her, like, your man's coming from Colorado. Just start accepting it now.
Yes.
He just kept sending me Colorado things, and I was like, dang, this thing ain't working. Like,
Right?
so totally. Well, I think that the beauty of our conversation today is, one, you gave so many great ideas for people who've been married for a while, and also people who are in their first year of marriage. But I think by talking about how couples meet, it gives people who are single and looking hope, right? Because again, everybody's favorite thing to say is these kind of people don't exist. These kind of people don't exist. And it's just not true. And it may not even be your time. However, this might be some of the evidence of what it looks like when that person comes around. And I just still really believe in that, like, male leadership. And it may look very different than what it used to look like 20 years ago, but there is some sort of like leadership and planning and intentionality in relationships that I think is truly missing from the culture. And I just love that in your story and even in our story, the similarity is that intentionality from the start of, I feel like I like you. And you know what? Now my next thing is to automatically now look at you as
to lock it down.
Candidate.
You're my girl.
Yes, exactly.
Just so you know, this
Target acquired.
Now that you're my girl, I'm telling you, you're gonna be my girl forever.
Yeah.
Exactly. It's already done.
I feel like that is something that people still need to bring back as being a part of what it looks like. And it's very important lesson in all of it. And I think we have just a few more minutes. So is there anything else you want to leave on the hearts of those who are single and dating and still looking for the one, and people who are married during quarantine?
I mean, if you're single, just understand that there are billions of people on this earth, right? But no, that's number one. Like, I know it sounds cliche, but it's true. But also, you can't expect someone to love you if you don't love yourself first, right?
Very true.
So if you are not in a happy place, no one's gonna want to be sad with you, right? And so, like, be that, like, you know, like, if you want to be married to a perfect person, well, guess what? You have to also love yourself. You have to be happy with yourself, and you have to have something to offer, right? And so that's what I would start, like, pretty much leave off with, because if I wasn't in a good and happy place with myself, I don't think I would have been like ready and willing to receive this man right here. So do you have anything for the single?
That's pretty much it. Also, often when you're working on yourself, you're focusing on yourself. Often when you're not looking, that's when a person comes. You know, when you're looking for that key, for those keys that you lost, you're frantically looking for it, you can never find it. But the moment you just let go,
there it is on the counter.
You know?
Sometimes in the place.
Oh, they're in the fridge, yes. Oh, they're in the fridge. You know, so it's just enjoy life. You know, be yourself, love yourself, work on yourself. Then the right person will come when you're ready.
And then if you're married in quarantine, again, now is the perfect time. Like, I'm sure every couple has that list of things that they want to do. And get creative and do it. And so we haven't been able to travel the way that we wanted to without kids for a while. And so we've learned that, we can send the kids upstairs and take these little virtual trips and stuff. That is what we're doing to, like, you know, because for me, it helps me get my mind right. And then also, like, learn how to date again. You know, like, go back to your roots, get creative, leave the cute little cards or notes. Like, you know, like, we have a whiteboard in the pantry. And so I'm always leaving little notes, and I'm just like, did you see it? Did you go? Did you turn around? Did you see? I said, I love you. It's like I love you, and I drew a heart. Did you see the heart? That's a heart. That's not a circle. It's a heart. I tried.
I know exactly. You know, that's even something that even before quarantine I started doing, because we got married so fast that we didn't really have a long period of dating. So she never got to experience that part of me. So, you know, I started leaving I love you notes in random places. So when she'd go get a coffee, there'd be an I love you note, or she'd go get one of her favorite, you know, noodles or whatever that she really loves, and there would be an I love you note on it. Like, and I think this is a perfect time to bring some of that stuff back. I think you're absolutely right. Start to do those little things that we got so caught up in life not doing, that now is the time to really say, hey, now I can start to pay a little closer attention to some of those smaller things, right?
Yep, definitely.
This was so good, guys.
I'm glad it was y'all. I didn't know.
I didn't even tell him. I was like, we got to interview.
And then I saw this, and I know them. I went to Paris with them.
I know, it's been such a long time. Actually, it feels like ages.
So
it's only been 9 years.
I know.
When we end this, put it in the replay, and I think they now post it to your actual feed, so it'll be there. And I'm gonna try to download it, and I can even send it to you guys. But thank you so much for taking the time out.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you.
And I look forward to talking to you guys soon again.
Same
Okay.
here. Happy to see you guys again.
Bye. Happy Mother's Day, Rocky.
Yes,
Bye.
Bye, guys.